Hello and welcome to day 15 of the daily 2-minute marriage boost challenge. You've made it over halfway, so way to go. Because you've done so well, I know I can throw you a little bit of a more difficult challenge today because I know you're up for it. So the challenge today is to take responsibility for the happily ever after of your marriage. This is a lot to try to fit into 2 minutes, so I am not going to be able to go into it in great detail, but a lot of times in life, you have the opportunity to look ahead of you and create the future that you want. In almost every area, this is true, but especially in your marriage. And it's so easy in a relationship like a marriage relationship where you are thrown together with someone through thick and thin in daily life. It's so easy to get caught up in the trap of trying to change them or trying to blame them. But the reality is the only person that we can control is ourselves. And that we reap what we sow. So very often we are actually reaping the very things that we are sowing, the thoughts that we have in our hearts when we carry around hurt and bitterness and blame. And so we ourselves are getting in our own way of the happily ever after. But instead of taking responsibility, we blame somebody. And when we behave like that, it's no wonder that they don't change because unfortunately it creates a cycle of blame and of anger and of disappointment and withholding ourselves from one another. But if you look at where you want to go and then you take responsibility for your actions and you trust the Lord to guide and correct and teach your spouse, you might be amazed. You know, we often have the choice and we don't realize that we're choosing being right at the cost of our happily ever after. And in marriage, I want you to know that there may be times when you're right, but most often it's actually more complicated than you can see. Most often you're both right in measure. But when you make a choice to be right over being connected, then you actually, the cost becomes so high that you're not even right anymore. So again, a lot to cover in 2 minutes. And I don't mean to make light of any serious issues or wounds that exist, but I do want you to know that you're powerful beyond what you realize. That the way you choose to cultivate love towards your spouse, the way you choose to cultivate honor and care for them, the way you choose to behave and think about them, choosing to believe the best in them, the way you choose to love them unconditionally, as you sow those things into your relationship, you're going to reap those things as well. So take responsibility, look at where you want to go and what kind of ingredients it's going to take to be there. And then even if you're the first one to sow those ingredients into your marriage, be willing, be brave, be bold, and do it, because you will find that whatever you sow in is going to come back to you tenfold. So sow in kindness, sow in affection, sow in connection and love, and make that the priority. Take responsibility and you will not be sorry.